Good morning to you, students. Today we'll begin poem number 5, Beehive, and the poem is A Legend of Northland. Now, this poem is written by a poetess. Her name is Phoebe Cary. Now, before we begin the poem, let's just go through it to get a complete idea. As we can tell that, first of all, this poem is a ballad. A ballad tells us a story. It is written in a form that as if it is a story. Now here the story is of Northland. Northland is not a particularly a fixed place, but we can say that any cold region, maybe North Pole or Greenland, etc., those places which are very cold, is written in that background, where the nights are very long, as we know that in cold regions the nights are very long and the days are very short. So that has also been mentioned in the poem, and there are no fast evidences about that the story that we are going through may be real. So we cannot tell that if the story is real or not. Even the poet does not tell us or give us any clarification about it, but it does gives us a very strong message, something to learn about from the poem. It is actually a tale, a short tale that is lots of people in the northern region, parents tell to the children, from which we can learn something to be a better person. In this poem, there is a saint, his name is Saint Peter, who is preaching throughout his walking, and his preaching traveling throughout the world, preaching about Jesus Christ. And there is an incident that while he was on his way, he was very hungry and was too much tired. He stopped at a place, at a woman's cottage, a small house, and he asked for some food. At that particular time, the woman was baking some cakes. Now, while baking the cakes, when Saint Peter came and asked for some food, so what did she do? First, I'll tell you in short. Then we'll go through in the poem that she baked him a very small cake. But she was a very greedy woman. So when she saw the cake, then she thought that I should not give him this much amount of cake. It is too much. Then she did not give him. Again she baked another cake. Then too she did not have the heart to give. Twice she did so. And at the end she baked a cake which was thin as a wafer. And that too she couldn't part with. Means she couldn't have the heart to give the cake to the saint. So the saint kept on waiting, and now ultimately the saint saw the greediness of the woman. So what did the saint do? He got very much angry on the woman and he cursed her. The saint cursed the lady, and due to his curse, he made her into a woodpecker. That is a kind of a bird that packs the wood. It does a very hard job. It has to pack the wood in a dried tree, on the trunk of a very dry tree. It has to pack continuously with its beak and make a hole, and then it has to build a nest. So it is a very hard job. So he made the woman into a woodpecker, and that's why it is said that the woodpecker is that woman who is continuously working hard, trying to build home, try to gather food, and it has to live in cold, so it has to work very hard. So this was the effect of the curse. She had to work very hard to get food, to build its nest, to build its home. So this is how the poem goes. So we'll begin it paragraph wise. We'll begin with the first paragraph of the poem. Again, I'll tell you that it is a ballad, where it's a narrative poem written in short stanzas, known as, usually they are called quatrains, and they relate to some incident in a form of, they are suitable for singing also. You can even sing. So we'll begin with the poem, and it, as we can, a bit of more information, it is a folklore, means a type of a folk tale which is passed on from generation to generation orally. Okay, so it is passed on from generation to generation orally, and people do sing this also. This is what a ballad is, because it is composed in simple language. It is 4-line stanza. It gives a very important moral lesson. It conveys through any kind of a story. So in this poem there are 16 stanzas. Each of the paragraph stanza has 4 lines in it. So the poetess Phoebe Cary has written a wonderful one and a good story too. As for you, it might be a very good, interesting story too. So we'll go through the poem now. A Legend of Northland. First line. Away, away in Northland, where the hours of the day are few, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. In this 4 lines, we can say that the poetess is talking about a far away land, Northland somewhere, and where it is very, very severely cold. Obviously, the nights are very long and the days are very short, and you keep on sleeping, then too you get tired of sleeping, but you cannot see the daylight because the nights are very, very long there. Second paragraph. Where they harness the swift reindeers to the sledge when it snows. A reindeer is an animal right now, you can see also. It's a kind of a species of a deer. So usually Santa Claus uses them, as we have seen or heard many times. And a sledge is a cart which is driven, which is specially designed to be driven on the snow. It doesn't have wheel, it has sledge, that is known as a sledge. So where they harness the swift reindeer, swift means they can run very fast, to the sledge when it snows. And the children look like bear cubs in their funny furry clothes. So it is obviously cold, very cold region. So children wear warm clothes, and they look like bear cubs, because it is very cold, so they have to wear lots of furry fat clothes around them. So they look like bear cubs. Third paragraph. They tell them a curious story. So the parents tell them a curious story there, very, very curious story they come to know. I don't believe it is true. And the poetess herself says that I don't think it is true, but it may be true also. There are no evidences about it. And yet, you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. And the poetess is telling that I'll tell you the story. It doesn't matter if it is a real or a imaginary one, but at the end you will learn a lesson, that you will learn something good. Now it begins. Once when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below. Once there was a Saint Peter, a saint named as Saint Peter. He lived in the world below and walked about preaching just as he did you know. And what did he do? He used to walk around from villages to villages, from country to country throughout, and he used to preach people, preaching of Jesus Christ, just as he did you know. He came to the door of a cottage in traveling around the earth. And once it happened that while he was traveling, he came to a cottage, a small house. In traveling around the earth means while he was traveling, he reached a cottage where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on a hearth. Now, during that time, the woman was baking cakes to eat, and Saint Peter saw that she was baking some cakes and baking them on a hearth. Hearth is a kind of a furnace, small furnace, on which cakes we need. We can bake cakes in a kind of a furnace only. So that she was doing, she had a hearth there. It was very, very cold, and inside it was, due to the hearth, due to the fire, it was very warm and cozy inside. And the woman was baking cakes, very tasty cakes there. And being faint and fasting, for the day was almost done. So the Saint Peter was continuously walking throughout, and now the day was turning into night. Saint Peter was faint and fasting, means he had not eaten throughout the day. He was faint, he was getting weak because he needed something to eat. He was tired, hungry, exhausted, for the day was almost done, because it was almost now night time. It was getting, the evening was over, and it was now a night time. So as he reached there, he asked her for her store of cakes, to give him a single one. Now during that time the woman was baking lots of cakes. She had many cakes, she had baked already, and she was baking more. So what did the saint do? He was very, very hungry and tired, so he just asked for a single piece of cake, that I am hungry, please give me a cake. Give me a single one. He asked only for a single one. So she made a very little cake, but as its baking lay. So what did she do? First of all, she baked him a cake. She was baking a cake, but that too she baked a very small cake for him. And as the baking lay, and when it was being baked, as the process was on, she looked at it and thought it seemed too large to give away. So when the cake was already done, completely done, when she saw the cake, she thought that how can I give this cake to him just for free, because she was a greedy woman. So she didn't have that heart to give it away, or large to give. She had baked already a very small cake, yet she is thinking that this is large, for a large cake to be given away. So she did not give it to him. Therefore she needed another. So what did she do? Now she again left that cake and started, took the dough and started the process of baking another one, and still a smaller one. So she now, with the help of the dough, she made a smaller cake out of it. But it looked, when she turned it over, as large as the first had done. So when she looked at that cake, which was already smaller one, yet she found that this cake is also big. Why should I give him this cake? So first of all she made it small, that she did not give. Second time she made it yet smaller, but then too she didn't feel like giving it to the saint. The saint was still waiting on the door, remember that, and he was looking at all this thing. First had done. Now the next paragraph. Then she took a tiny scrap of dough. Now what did she do? She took a tiny scrap, means a little bit of dough. She took a tiny scrap, just imagine, of dough, and rolled it flat. And what did she do? She just rolled it just like we make the chapati. She kept on rolling it and made it really, really flat, and baked it thin as a wafer. Just imagine, how did she do? What did she do? She just rolled it so much that it became like a wafer. Just imagine, we have eaten cakes, how fluffy and how thick it is, but she made it look like a wafer, that cake. But she couldn't part with that, and she just imagined that also. She thought that, oh, how can I give it to him? And she didn't wanted to part with that cake also. She was so greedy, stingy. So she thought that, oh, this cake also I cannot give him. So that cake also she did not give it to him, though it was just like a wafer. Next paragraph. For she said, my cakes that seem too small when I eat them myself. And what did she say? That my cakes, when I am baking the cakes, seem too small when I eat of them myself. When I eat them, that too seems to me very small. How will I give him? Are yet too large to give away. And she is saying that this cake also I bake is also large enough to give for free. So how to give it away again? So she put them on the shelf. What did she do? That cake also she did not give him, and she put it on the shelf for herself to eat it. So she did not give that cake also to him. Next paragraph. Then good Saint Peter grew angry. Now what happened? Now Saint Peter had enough. Now he got angry because he was very tired, very hungry. He had no energy to move ahead. He needed something to eat, and he was seeing that this woman is not giving him even the tiny scrap of cake, and she's keeping all for herself. So now the Saint Peter got angry, for he was hungry and faint. The poor saint had walked throughout the day with his preaching. Now he was very hungry, had become faint, very weak, and surely such a woman was enough to provoke a saint. And saints usually don't get angry, they are very good people. But due to this woman, even the saint was provoked to get angry. Means that made the saint also angry due to her stingy nature, due to her way of not giving any food to the needy. So now he was provoked, the saint got angry, and he said, now the saint said, you are far too selfish to dwell in a human form. So what did the saint say? That you are very greedy, how selfish you are, and God has given you everything and a human body too, but I don't think you deserve this house, this human body. In a human body you are very stingy, selfish person, because you cannot part with a little bit of food too. So he's saying that you cannot dwell in a human form, for that God has given you this human form, but you don't deserve it. To have both food and shelter. You should not have even food, you should not even have shelter, because you are such a greedy person, such a selfish person. And fire to keep you warm, and you don't even deserve the fire of the hearth, the warmth of the fire, that you are in the house. I am outside in the snow, cold, tired, and very much faint, very much weak. You are very warm, you have lots inside, lots of food to eat, so many things to have, and a human being, but you don't deserve all this. And now you shall build as the birds do. So now the saint is cursing her and is saying that you don't deserve this, but now you shall build as the birds do. The birds have to work really very hard to build their nest, as we know that they have to work very hard to build a nest. So now the saint is cursing her that now you shall build as a birds do. Now you will live a life of a bird, and how hard the birds have to work to build a single nest you will know. And shall get yourself scanty food, and the birds have to try very hard, they have to fly everywhere, they have to search for food. It is not easy for the birds and animals to find food. So the saint is telling that now you will understand the value of food, the value of shelter, by boring and boring and boring. Boring means making a hole in the wood, of a trunk of a tree. So now you will understand what these things really mean to you. All day in the hard dry wood, and you will keep on working very hard on the dry wood. You will be pecking with your beak, and you will have to make a home, which will take lots of time in this cold weather, and you will have to work very hard for food and for shelter too now. Then up she went through the chimney. So the saint cursed her, and due to the effect of the saint's curse, the woman turned into a bird. Which bird? A woodpecker that pecks the wood. So what happened? As he cursed her, the woman became a woodpecker. And in this paragraph, then up she went through the chimney. So as she became a bird, she flew away from the hole of a chimney. She went outside, never speaking a word. She did not speak a word, because now she was turned into a bird. What could she do due to the curse? And out of the top flew a woodpecker, for she was changed into a bird. And what happened? Now she changed into a woodpecker. A woodpecker, and the saint changed her into a bird. She had the scarlet cap on her head. Everything changed. But during the time the woman was wearing a scarlet, means a red colored cap on her head. That did not change. She had a scarlet cap on her head, and that was left the same. But all the rest of her clothes were burned black as coal in the flame. So what happened? All her clothes were burned, nothing was left, only a scarlet cap was left on her head. That's why the woodpecker has a red colored feathers on the head. The woodpeckers have the red colored feathers on the head. So this legend says, this story says that this woman, when she was turned into a woodpecker, still she has the red colored cap on her head, because all the rest of the clothes were burned, and now only she was left with a small cap on her head. The cap was there to identify that she was the same woman, black as coal in flame, and all the clothes had burned, only the red colored had remained. And at last paragraph says, and every country schoolboy, means when all these children, when they will be going to the school, or maybe walking or playing in the park, had seen her in the woods, and all the children have seen her in the woods, means in the forest, in the small jungles, that where she lives in a tree till this very day, boring and boring for food. And the children still see her with the red colored cap, that is the red colored feather that the woodpecker has. And all the time whenever we look at the woodpecker, it is always boring and boring, means picking and picking with her sharp beak and trying to make a hole in the wood, which is very very difficult to make in a dry wood, because especially they make the holes, the woodpeckers make the hole, and after that they make a nest in it. But they use dried trees, because you cannot make a hole, it is very difficult to make a hole in a green tree, so which is not dead. So usually they use dead trees which are dried, and they continuously keep on boring, means just they keep on pecking and pecking with their beak, just a little bit, and it takes very very long for a woodpecker to make a nest. So this is the story that we can say. The ballad is a song narrative story in short stanzas. Ballads are a part of folk culture, means which were used a long time back and passed on from generation to generations, but orally. And later on it was written by Phoebe Cary, and this is how the legend goes, the legend of Northland. So what does this tell us? The entire story tells us that we should not be greedy. We should have a heart to give to the needy person, those who need, because those who are asking for food, they don't have food, that's the reason that they ask. And if God has given us, we should part with our food, we should give them as much as possible, so that we may not end up like this woman who was very much greedy. And we risk all in being too greedy. If we are too greedy, we risk everything. So here we come to the end of the poem. Questions are there on the page number 67, 1 to 8. There are 8 questions. Normally they are not very long ones. A short question and answers are there. You have to write down the question answers in your fair book. Here we come to the end of the poem. Thank you very much. Read the poem and write down the question and answers. Thank you very much.